Hi guys, welcome back to episode 2 of Chelsea's writing journey. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some pieces from my book called Book of Prose. So I'm going to read, when I edited Book of Prose, I wrote an about the book that I feel really encompasses what my experience was like writing it. So here it is. To say that I enjoyed writing Book of Rose is an understatement. Each piece feels alive with the elements of inspiration I thoroughly enjoyed in those moments. I felt each spark of inspiration within me and never left it alone till it was a full-blown piece that expressed intimately who I am. While I was writing Book of Rose, I thoroughly enjoyed the beautiful simplicities of life. Sitting at my desk with a beautiful view of trees and the open skies, sipping on my iced coffees and listening to music that I love. While writing Book of Rose, I gave free rein to my imagination, and now we were intimately acquainted. We are dear, dear friends. There's nothing quite like having my headphones on, closing my eyes and experiencing the soul and source of who I am expressing itself so rawly. So just a quick story before we get into the content. Once upon a time, I walked into a local pharmacy and a journal caught my eye. Generally, I always feel a stationary eye calling me. I bought said journal, and from then on, any pieces that I wrote, I transferred them into this journal, and yes, this journal is now Book of Rose. So I literally put pen to paper, and what a wonderful experience it was, fully savoring in each and every moment of self-expression. I also felt inspired to draw sometimes what those pieces felt like to me, and I included the original drawings in this book. Book of Rose feels like an introduction to the depths of the colorful infinites of mine existence. I was deeply submerged in the heart and soul of who I am, and yet I had only just touched upon the surfaces of it all. And honestly, it still feels quite like that, which is really beautiful because it shows how deep thine soul is. It takes an eternity to explore. And honestly, it still feels quite like that, which is really beautiful because it shows how deep thine soul is. It takes an eternity to explore. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and I will see you at the end. So something that really caught my attention while I was reading this again is that I felt that day when I bought this journal was a moment of inspiration itself, because I was just at those beginning moments of receiving this influx of inspirations, and I feel that being inspired to buy this journal helped me to focus that energy and put it into actually creating something in my day-to-day experiences. So what started then was I wrote this is actually the Book of Rose. It's such a pretty journal. And what started was that I would write these pieces, and then when the book was done, literally, then I felt, okay, this book is done, and I would move on to, I would move on to another journal. And then after some time, again, it was such an influx of energy, of just inspiration, energy just like constantly in motion, energy constantly moving, that to actually sit and take the time to write, it was moving at a faster pace. And so then I started my books on a Google Doc. So I would feel inspired with a new name, and so I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna name it this, and then I started typing the pieces whenever I felt inspired. And then when there would just be a moment where I would wake up one day and I felt like it was done. Okay, like whatever this was meant to be, whatever this book was meant to be, like I feel it's finished here and I just have to start something new. And so I would close that off, and then I would open a new Google Doc and start a new book. And so that's how that went. So let's read some pieces from Book of Rose now. I didn't really name these pieces, but I started to number them. And while I was making notes for this video, I just chose some random numbers because I thought that would be fun, because I wouldn't know exactly which piece I was going to read. So that would be exciting. So the first number that I chose randomly was number 88. 88. So let's see what that piece is. 88. 88. The suspense. The suspense. We're almost there. Okay. Here it is. 88. I am never shrouded in mystery. My blinds are never closed shut. For I am immersed in an ocean of clarity, such that my soul has washed me, bathed me, soaked me in all its knowledge. For it has never said no to me, for it has never hesitated. And what is this knowledge? The knowledge so palpable that it pierces the soul that holds me in their gaze. It is a knowledge of my queendom on earth. For life is here, for spirit is here, for paradise and bliss and ecstasy. It is all here. My queendom on earth bejeweled with diamond knowledge of my existence. Diamond knowledge of my existence. Wow. Okay. So what I actually wrote was that my queendom on earth bejeweled with diamonds of my knowledge. But what I just said was my queendom on earth bejeweled with diamond knowledge of my existence. Okay, that's pretty cool. And I feel that it flows really effortlessly off of what I was just talking about, with there being such an influx of energy, an influx of inspiration. And essentially it was an influx of knowledge of who I am, of knowledge of my existence, of knowledge of the absolute. I love that. My queendom on earth bejeweled with diamond knowledge of my existence. And again, at that time I was just starting to feel, no matter where I looked, it was just like this endless hall of mirrors that was reflecting to me this glorious knowledge of who I am, this glorious clarity of who I am. And it was such a special experience for me, because it's something that I really allowed myself to intimately experience on a day-to-day basis. And I feel that was really, really, really important to me at the time. It was like I was aware of what I was experiencing, and I was just like, how could I make the best of this? Because at the end of the day, it just came down to my day-to-day life experiences. So how could I focus this into just really enjoying it for what it is, and just being in the moment. And so writing really allowed me to do that. So that's 88. And the next number that I chose was 77. 77. So let's see what that is. 77. It's a short piece. It says, Queen with heaven in her heart, her precious Gaia, her queendom of heaven. queen with heaven in her heart, her precious Gaia, her queendom of heaven, her queendom of heaven. So this piece also has the queendom highlighted in it, and that's very much what it feels like to discover who I am. It's discovering this it's discovering the heaven in me that always existed, and feeling the wealth of it, the richness of it, the abundance of expression of spirits in it, that it's that not just only can it be infinitely explored, but it's that I am exploring the infiniteness of who I am, which is such a really, really fulfilling experience, that I get to share and talk about it now even more. So that's 77. And the next one is 66. No, I'm just kidding. It's 27. 27. Oh, okay. 27. So the title of this piece is called Hooked. And a backstory to this piece is that at the time I really wanted to explore the fullness of who I am from an emotional perspective, in that I really wanted to feel the freedom of feeling ecstasy, of feeling exhilaration, of feeling excitement, of feeling joy. And so I focused my intentions there, and inspirations would just flow. And I remember for this particular piece, I feel that, I don't know if I was watching the movie or I was just watching a clip from the movie on YouTube, and it was just this scene, and this song started playing, and I felt time just stop. And that's how I always feel when I receive inspiration, whether it's while I'm listening to music, or it's like a vision, or I'm watching a movie, or whatever it is. Like, time just stops, and it just feels like it's me, and me at the center of the universe. And so I saw the clip, and then I just I stopped it and I wrote this piece. So it's called Hooked. Hooked on life. With every fiber of my being, I desire to feel rambunctiously, ecstatically, blissfully alive. With every fiber in my being, and we're talking trillions of cells, babe. Every single one of them, I desire to feel hooked on my life. I desire to live, I desire to love so beautifully, so blissfully, so divinely, so freely, with my every breath, with absolutely all that is me. I am hooked. I am blissfully hooked onto my life. I am blissfully hooked onto my dreams. I am blissfully hooked onto God's absolute desire to pleasure me, to satisfy me again and again and again. I am hooked. I am hooked. I am blissfully hooked on God's absolute desire to pleasure me, to satisfy me again and again and again. So I feel that at the time, it's like I'm saying that I was discovering who I am, but it was like really, I was just realizing that I was always there, that I was always aware of who I am. I was always aware of my energy, and now I was just like zeroing in on it and fully allowing myself to just dive in and to experience all of it. So let's go to the next piece, and the number that I chose, the random number that I chose is 99. 99, 99. 98, 99. Draw and draw slowly upon my body. Draw and draw slowly upon my body. I figured out there is no rush. Precisely in these moments, time is strictly prohibited. Color me and color me slowly. Lie upon my lap and let my fingers slowly caress your hair. Let me kiss every inch and corner of your body softly and slowly. What's the rush? Time is strictly prohibited. Anyways, so I definitely remember the inspiration at the time. I was listening to this band called the 1975, and I remember listening to one of their songs, and again it was just that moment when I just felt the like inspiration, and it was flowing with visions, and it's discovering who I am and discovering my energy, and realizing how unique it is, how beautiful existing is, knowing who you are and experiencing that clarity. And then I really just slowing down and allowing myself to really enjoy feeling that energy. And then it's like when I think about it, that's the whole point of it. The whole point of it is to experience who I am. And so it's not slowing down to just feel a special feeling, but it's realizing in a sense like what my natural rhythm is, what my natural flow as to how I experience myself, as to how I experience life is. And so from that point of view, it's not seeing it as fast and it's not seeing it as slow. It's expressed as that way so that I actually get to the point of experiencing what my energy feels like. But it comes down to me discovering my natural flow in my life, and my natural flow in my energy that allows me to really experience it to its fullest capacity in a way that's exhilarating or serene, whatever it is that satisfies me most at that period of time, that is most fulfilling and nourishing to who I am at the time. So definitely while I was writing Book of Rose, I was really present and savoring in this energy. So the next piece, which is the last piece, makes me feel so sad. And so, okay, so I also earlier I mentioned that I started like drawing just like some random sketches that I felt inspired to after writing my pieces. And again, it was like I never really drew prior to this, but again, I just wanted to make the most of the energy and feeling it. And so after I wrote a piece, and I would just like take my pen and just like make a sketch, which I'll include here so that you can see what it looks like. But it was such a simple sketch, and then I stopped and I looked at it, and I could really feel it. I could really feel the energy of the clarity that I was expressing flowing in the drawing itself, and I could feel that it was alive in some way. And that was when those were like the first subtle moments of me discovering oh, like there's something here, which I'll talk about in my other series, Chelsea's painting journey, which you guys could look forward to soon, because I also look forward to it. Right, so the last piece, which is 104, which is it's a short piece, but it's a powerful piece. Okay, so 104. I am a writer born to write a story. I am a writer born to write a story. And this feels layered in so many ways for me. It was me discovering the magic of who I am as a writer, that not only was it fulfilling, not only did it make me feel so alive, but it also felt like nourishment to my soul, like this very unique sustenance. And very interesting because it's me expressing myself, and that expression, that clarity in and of itself nourishes me. And it's like, oh, it comes like full circle in a way. And then I'm a writer born to write her story. It feels like it parallels with my life as well, right? That I'm literally writing my own story. Literally, by me writing, it's bringing who I am to life. It's bringing the stories of who I am to life, the stories of my existence. I'm bringing it to life, which is very, very, very exciting. Wow, I think that was a really, really, really good piece to end on. Simple but powerful. Okay, so I think that I'm going to end this video here, and I hope you guys enjoyed the pieces that I was reading. I hope that maybe it nourishes your soul in some way today. Maybe it inspired you in some way today. And I look forward to my next video, where I'll be reading pieces from my third book, and that's called Book of Emerald. So take care, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day.